From Šibenik, we head south to Split. Split is the second largest city in Croatia after Zagreb, with a population of almost 300,000 in the greater Split area. Republic Square is a neo-Renaissance nod to Split's Venetian heritage. Split was ruled by the Republic of Venice from 1420 to 1797. Construction of Republic Square started in 1859. The West Wing was built in the 1860s, and the East Wing was added in 1911 and 1928. Today, the square houses several bars and restaurants, and in the summer, it hosts the annual Split Festival. Our next stop is the fish market, one of the central points of city life. For the past 120 years, the market has brought seafood fresh from the Adriatic to the people of Split. Croatia Radic Square is named for two Radic brothers who were political forces in the early 20th century. It's also called Fruit Square because it was a fruit and vegetable market well before the Radic brothers. The octagonal Venetian tower on the left dates to the 15th century. On the right is a 17th century Milisi Palace with its Baroque facade. In front of the Milisi Palace is a statue of the Croatian poet Marko Marulić, the father of the Croatian Renaissance. That brings us to Diocletian, the Roman emperor from 284 to 305. He was born a commoner in Salona, near today's Split. At the end of the 3rd century, Diocletian built a palace, which today forms about half of the old town of Split. The palace was intended as Diocletian's retirement residence, but it resembles a large fortress. Half was palace, and the rest housed a military garrison. We start our exploration of Diocletian's palace in the cellar. These cellars were used to store food and wine for the palace. There's a remnant of a large wine press in the cellar. The structure of the cellars provide a faithful outline for the chambers above. The cellars lie under about 1/8 of the palace's floor plan. The peristyle is located in the center of the structure between the palace and the garrison. To the east is Diocletian's mausoleum. To the west is the Temple of Jupiter. And to the south is this impressive facade, the entrance to the emperor's quarters. The emperor's visitors first enter the vestibule, a circular space 40 feet in diameter. The room was originally topped with a dome 56 feet high. There were originally 12 of these black granite sphinx that Diocletian brought back from his campaigns in Egypt. To the west of the peristyle, down a narrow alley, is the Temple of Jupiter. In the 6th century, it was turned into a baptistry of St. John the Baptist. This modern sculpture is by Ivan Mestrovic. The ornately carved coffered ceiling of the Temple of Jupiter. Over the centuries, the small temple collected various artifacts. This 11th century marble carving is the earliest representation of a Croatian king. He's shown with a slightly smaller noble standing on a serf who is prostrate on the ground. Looking back from the Temple of Jupiter down the narrow alley to the bell tower of the Cathedral of St. Dominus. The Cathedral of St. Dominus was consecrated at the turn of the 7th century. It occupies the structures built in 305 as the Mausoleum of Diocletian. The Romanesque bell tower was added in 1100. Extensive rebuilding in 1908 radically changed the bell tower, and many of the original features were removed. The entry doors of the cathedral are dated to 1214 and are considered one of the best examples of Romanesque sculpture in Croatia. The Baroque high altar is between two Gothic vaults under an arch leading to the choir. This is the chapel of St. Dominus. There's a certain irony that the cathedral was named for a saint who was martyred in the persecutions ordered by Diocletian. The other side chapel is to St. Anastasius, a contemporary of St. Dominus, who was also martyred in Diocletian's persecutions. The altar dates to 1448. Avars and Slavs invaded in the 7th century and destroyed Salonia. The refugees retreated to the fortress palace. The palace has been continuously occupied. Residents have demolished the palace and reused masonry and stones to build their own buildings. We exit the palace through the northern gate. This bell tower is all that's left of a Benedictine monastery destroyed in World War II. This monumental 28-foot tall statue of Gregory of Nin is by Ivan Mastrovich. Rubbing Gregory's toe brings good luck. This narrow alley runs along the palace wall. As the town grew, it needed a gathering place beyond the confines of the palace. Since the 14th century, the People's Square has been that gathering place. The 15th century town hall has been renovated many times, most recently in 1890 in a neo-Gothic style. The square is lined with palaces. Knocket's house, built in 1902 in a Viennese Art Deco style, is now a hotel. The Renaissance Pavlovich Palace on the south side of the square dates to the 16th century. We wind our way back through the narrow streets of Old Town, back toward our hotel. We pass the Sulphur Spa in Art Deco style near the fish market where we started our day. Back on the Riva, the waterfront promenade, we pass the Church of St. Francis, and next to it the Deskovich Palace from the 19th century. And then we're back to our hotel, the Ambassador, from the 21st century. The late afternoon sun lights up the bell tower of the St. Dominus Cathedral. The light is fading for one last picture of Split's Riva Promenade.